Hey guys, and welcome to another episode tutorial with me, Joseph Evans, author of the Secret Sequence books and The Phoenix Prophecy, The Ember Effect, Soulbound, The Secret of Rain, The Last Goodbye and Glitch Girl. If you find these tutorials helpful, don't forget to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thank you so much guys. Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how you can create convincing reflections of your characters in mirrors. First of all, we're going to need a background with a mirror in it. Int Bathroom Day is a good one because we've got this full-size mirror in what we would assume is Zone 1. Now, the way that we're going to create this illusion is by making an overlay version of this background with a cutout where the mirror would be. And we're going to place a duplicate of our character behind the overlay. So first of all, we need to open our image editing program of choice. I choose GIMP because it's completely free and is available for most platforms. You can download it from gimp.org. If you cannot get GIMP for your platform, there are plenty of alternatives that will allow you to do some simple cutting out. Just have a look around for image editing programs that you can use, and the information in this video will hopefully still give you an idea of what you need to do in your program of choice. Okay, with GIMP open, we need to create a new document, and we must make sure that the size of the document that we create is the same size as the background we want to use. By looking at this bathroom background, we can assume that it is two zones. A one zone background will look like this, and a three zone background will look like this. Whichever amount of zones your background has, these are the corresponding sizes. So because this one that we are using is a two zone background, we're going to need to make our document 1280 pixels width by 1136 pixels height. Click OK. Then we need to copy our background and paste it into the document. So let's open it back up in the art catalog. Copy image, go back to GIMP, and then paste image. And before we do any editing, we do need to confirm that we want to add this to the document by clicking this little green icon in the bottom of the layers panel. And now we can start cutting. We just need to choose the rectangle select tool and then drag a box around that glass pane. And as long as we're happy with that, we need to hit the return key on the keyboard. And to cut this out, we need to go to edit and cut. Cool, our mirror is now gone. If we toggle the visibility of the black background that was defaulted to our document, we can see that this is now a transparent area. So we could leave it here and export it like this with this gaping hole, which would kind of work, but it'll make our mirror look more like, well, a gaping hole. Without any glass there at all, it just won't look very much like a mirror. So how about we add in some semi-transparent glass? This will create a much more convincing illusion. I've managed to find this glass texture on pixabay.com, which is pretty versatile, so I will link this in the description below for anyone who wants to use this exact one. Of course, you can always find a different glass texture that suits your scene's needs better if you wish. So I've already downloaded this, and we just need to drag it from a Finder window onto our document. And to get rid of our selection, we can go to the Select menu and then click None. And of course, this pane of glass is way too big, so we need to select the scale tool and scale this right down. Now, if you want to constrain the proportions of the glass, just hold down the Shift key on the keyboard. Now, I'm doing that right now. If I let go, you can see it kind of scales to any proportions, but yeah, holding down that Shift key will keep it to its original aspect ratio. And to move it, we don't have to switch to the Move tool. We can actually just click this box in the middle of the layer and drag that around. Now, don't worry guys if this overlaps with the frame of the mirror. What we're going to do in a moment is put this behind the frame so there will be no overlapping at all. Let's hit the return key to confirm that we want it to be placed there. And to get this behind the frame, we just need to go over to our layers panel in the bottom right hand corner of the screen and drag our glass underneath our overlay. There we go, it is perfectly behind that frame now. And of course, we do need to make this semi-transparent, otherwise we wouldn't be able to see anybody behind it at all. So let's go over to where it says opacity just above the layers panel and bring the opacity down to 50%. Just type in 50. Hit the return key and there you go. It is half see-through. Great, that is all we need to do in this image editing program. To export this so we can upload it, we need to go to File, then Export, and choose a name. I think I'm going to just call this Bathroom Mirror. Now my export is showing .png as the default file extension, which is correct. If yours shows anything other than .png, just go down to where it says Select File Type and make sure you select PNG from this list. Okay, then click export and export again. Don't worry about any of these settings. You can leave that all as it is. And that is our overlay ready to upload to the art catalog. So I'm sure you guys all know how to upload overlays, but here we go. If we drag our overlay around in the upload preview, you can see how that glass works. Really cool effect. Okay, let's make sure we name this the same as our file name, Bathroom Mirror. Great, let's go to our script. And the first thing we need to do here is put the original background there. So it was int bathroom day and our overlay name is bathroom mirror. So with bathroom mirror. Now the reason we need the original background behind it is because we want to have this reflection of the room behind the reflection of our character. And now we can place our MC in there somewhere. Let's say that our MC is Secretary, so at Secretary stands screen center. And we're going to want him facing away from the camera, looking at the mirror. So we need to make sure that we use one of the rear animations. I'll just use idle rear. So, and Secretary starts idle rear. And with all rear animations, the directions are flipped. So if we want Secretary facing the mirror, we're going to have to make him face right. So, and Secretary faces right, and Secretary starts idle rear. Now, here is where we begin to create the illusion. We're going to want to create a duplicate character of Secretary and put him behind the mirror overlay. So how do we create this duplicate character? Well, you could do things the old-fashioned way and make one in the character creator, picking all of the same features, but this just takes an unnecessary amount of time. To quickly create a duplicate, we can simply pretend one exists to begin with. So let's say we'll call him Secretary 2 and we'll add him to the scene. So at Secretary 2 stands, let's say, up screen left and Secretary 2 faces right. If we save and preview, it will tell us that this character doesn't exist and it will let us auto-generate. So because Secretary is a male character, let's click male and create my characters using the randomizer. Continue. You're probably thinking, but this guy does not look anything like Secretary, and we're going to have to go in and change all his attributes. But there's a really neat and little known bit of code that we can use. Let's say finish and create. If we write at Secretary 2 becomes Secretary, it will change all of Secretary 2's attributes to that of Secretary instantly, saving us a whole lot of hassle. There we go, identical. And now it's time to put these characters in the correct layers. Since the lower the number of the layer, the further away they are from the camera, we're going to want to place the reflection in layer 1. So at Secretary 2 moves to layer 1. Then we're going to want the overlay in between. So at overlay bathroom mirror to layer 2. And then our real Secretary closest to the camera, so layer 3. At Secretary moves to layer 3. Let's save and preview again, and hopefully this will look much better. Awesome, this is looking almost there. Let's just do a tiny bit of spot directing so that it looks a little more accurate, maybe something like that. Let's copy these coordinates and replace the default positions. So Secretary 2. And Secretary, save and preview again. Brilliant. So now that our scene is set up, what can we actually animate? Well, we are quite limited. To keep the illusion believable, we need to have a matching rear animation for any front-facing animation that the reflection performs. And unfortunately, there are not a lot of matching rear animations. The best thing we can do is type at Secretary starts then the word rear, and it will bring up a list of all the rear animations available to us. Out of these, I'd say probably only a handful convincingly match their corresponding front-facing ones. One of these is idle terrified loop rear, which could be very useful in horror stories, so let's try it. So Secretary starts idle terrified loop rear, and Secretary 2 starts the front-facing one, which is idle terrified loop. Let's put a pause for 2 seconds in here so they don't immediately go into this. Let's see what happens. Cool. And if you want your character maybe talking to themselves, let's say if they were rehearsing a speech or lines for a play, you could use talk neutral loop ria. Let's do that as well. Let's add in another pause for 2. Then secre starts talk neutral loop ria, and secre 2 starts the front facing one, which is talk neutral loop. Let's have a look at that. Awesome. The best thing to do, guys, is just have a play around with these ria animations yourselves and see which ones look convincing to you. Okay, before I finish this up, the only other thing I want to show you is walking to and from the mirror. Let's say we want secre to exit right. We can use the web previewer to drag him across to the right. Make sure that our Y coordinate is exactly the same. It was only on 1, I think. Copy those coordinates and let's add it to the bottom of our script. And then of course we want it to be walks to spot so and so. Let's say in 3 seconds. And what we need to make sure is that we move the reflection by exactly the same amount of pixels. Otherwise the reflection will be walking at a different speed to the real character. So there's no point in dragging our reflection over to the right of the screen because we're not going to get an accurate number. What we need to do is use a calculator. Let's open one up on the computer here. Since secre's original X position was 208 and he walks to 436, we need to do 436 minus 208, and that will give us the difference and the amount of pixels that he moved to the right. Since our reflection begins in the X position of 132, we just need to add that to this figure. So plus 132, and that will give us the X position that we need the reflection to end up in. So let's copy and paste the original position and then just change this to 360, and of course walks 2 again and in 3. Now to get these working at the same time, we can either put an ampersand instead of the at there, or we could just remove this second at and put the word and in there. Both will give you the same result. Let's just put another pause for 2 seconds between the talking and the walking. And because our real secre is going to be facing the camera while walking away as opposed to facing the mirror, we need to also switch the reflection to facing away instead of facing us now. So we need to write and secre 2 is walk neutral loop ria. And like I said earlier, guys, these ria animations, all the directions are flipped. So if we want secre 2 to be walking off to the right, we need to make sure that we tell him to face left, as counterintuitive as it seems. So let's also add in here a and secre 2 faces left. Let's see what the scene looks like now. That's it. So there we go, guys. That is how you can create mirror reflections in Episode. One thing you guys might be wondering is, can't I just give you the overlay that I created in GIMP? And I really wish I could, but unfortunately, one of the main rules that has been enforced this year by Episode is that none of us can modify official episode backgrounds and then share them on a large scale. So really, unfortunately, everyone who wants this overlay has to create it themselves. Hopefully it won't take you too long with this tutorial. If this video has helped you in any way, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the helpful tutorials that I've got coming up. And if you'd like to support me and get some exciting rewards like early access to these tutorials and personal help from me, head over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/author Joseph Evans, or click the join button underneath this video. If you have any questions about any of this, make sure to comment them down below. And if you know the answer to anyone else's questions in the comments, it would be great if you could give them a quick answer to help them out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Good luck adding mirror reflections to your own episode stories, and I will see you all in my next video.